As the war in Ukraine rages on, the small neighboring country of Moldova is being shaken to its core. 2 weeks after the fall of its pro-Western government, the country is being rocked by massive protests, skyrocketing energy prices, and Russian cyber attacks, combined with numerous subversion operations. Is Putin's aim just to further destabilize the country, or is it a warm-up for the next Russian invasion? And if so, can we do something about it? Welcome to the last show, where we bring you explosive news from a secret bunker in Eastern Europe before the world comes to an end. Now, I understand that when we are talking about problems in Moldova, 90% of you are immediately struck with the same old question the Greek philosophers used to ponder. What the fuck is Moldova? Moldova is a tiny country with just 2.6 million people located between the Carpathian Mountains and bottomless poverty. Yes, its two neighboring countries are Romania and Ukraine, and Moldova is known as the poor one. That's like being known in the Balkans as the lazy one. I wonder what that's like, Montenegro. But being just a tiny poor sliver of a country doesn't mean Moldova gets to chill out. Even though the entire state is essentially a small breakaway part of Romania, it still gets its own angry breakaway province called Transnistria. With just 360,000 inhabitants, fictional GDP, and a minority of people who say they would love to join Russia, Transnistria was Donbass before Donbass was cool. It's practically a breakaway republic since the 90s, when Russians sent a garrison there to protect Russian speakers. And so we get to see what 30 years of internationally unrecognized but tolerated Russian-sponsored independence looks like. And it's spectacular. For one, you get to have this guy as your leader. Yes, Igor Smirnov was Transnistria's president for the first 10 years of its existence, and yes, he does look like Steven Seagal after 5 decades of mixing vodka with motor oil. Also known as present-day Steven Seagal. You also get to have your own currency, which is essentially a money version of that guy. Plastic coins that would get you kicked out of a game of Monopoly for using money that looks too fake. You get to have a country whose flag uses a retro insignia and is lined up with incredible billboards celebrating its one general, Yuri Gagarin, and that retro insignia. And you also get a country whose commerce is run by one corporation, which is called Sheriff. Oh yeah. There's only one sheriff in Transnistria, and he owns pretty much everything. Supermarkets, malls, gas stations, and its own football club called FC Sheriff, which somehow gets to be a part of the Moldovan Football League and, given its corporate resources, kind of kicks everyone's ass, further adding salt to the wounds. This whole spectacular post-Soviet utopia could be the entire country of Moldova. But just like Leo to a girl who discovered her first wrinkle, they keep saying no. However, Russia is doing what it can to make it so, meddling in Moldovan politics for the entirety of its existence, making sure the country is highly dysfunctional and on the brink of collapse most of the time, which culminated in the recent events. The current protests were sparked mostly by the cost of living crisis that was exacerbated by skyrocketing energy prices after Russia cut Moldova off. You have to give it to Russians. They are rather effective when it comes to stamping out hope, progress, and anything potentially beautiful. Last week, amid the protests and numerous cyber attacks, Ukrainian intelligence warned Moldova about a planned coup involving disguised Russian special forces whose target is to overthrow the government. So far, Moldova is withstanding the pressure and even managed to swear in a new pro-Western government. However, everyone is wary of the Ukraine scenario. When they couldn't get what they wanted covertly, they went all in overtly. And so, there remains one urgent thing for us to do in order to ensure the safety of Moldovan people from Russian aggression. We have to arm Moldova with nuclear weapons. I know it sounds excessive, but it's the only functional prevention from the Russians. Ukraine gave its nukes away in exchange for a treaty confirming its existing borders signed by Russia. Guess how that worked out? The only way to avoid another bloody invasion is to arm these 2.6 million poor souls with intercontinental ballistic missiles with a nuclear payload. And so, please spread the word into the world with the hashtag Nukes for Moldova. So that's our show for tonight, but please subscribe. And also, check out this video about why we should let Russians participate in next year's Olympics.